Today, I bring you another video talking about why veganism is not suitable for humans and that we humans should eat some animal meat, including animal fats. We use some fundamentals to illustrate this point from the perspective of triglycerides, so bear with me. When we talk about triglycerides, there are two components. The first component is boxed out in the orange-yellow color, and that's glycerol, which comprises of 3 carbon. Then there's the gray boxes, which as you can see in this diagram, there are 3. So there are 2 fatty acids which are saturated and 1 fatty acid which is unsaturated. The differences between them is that the saturated fatty acids have got one bond with another carbon molecule and the rest of the carbon is bonded by hydrogen. Whereas in the unsaturated fatty acids, there's the carbon-to-carbon double bond. So if there's a double bond, then it took the place of a hydrogen, which is why it's unsaturated. And because of this strange bond that occurs, it causes a conformational change which forms a kink. And these saturated and unsaturated fatty acids have a biological role in the cells and in the organisms where they are found. In organisms which have a lower operating temperatures, like plants for example, plants have an operating temperature of about 25 or even lesser depending on where it is located. Because of such lower temperatures, will have more unsaturated fatty acids. Why unsaturated fatty acids? Is because the kinks forces the molecules of fats and phospholipids to be pushed further apart from each other. Why do they need to be pushed further apart from each other? Is because at lower temperatures, the fat molecules, if they are packed closely together, will solidify. And when they solidify, nothing can pass through, including oxygen and carbon dioxide, which is crucial to plant cells. So the lower the temperature of the organism, the more unsaturated fatty acids there are, so as to maintain the fluidity of the membrane to have a functioning cell. In opposition to that are humans, where our temperature is much higher than the normal 20 to 25 degrees. We are 37 degrees, right? 37 degrees represents quite a hot environment. We cannot have a lot of these unsaturated fatty acids because they'll push the molecules too far apart. And if this occurs at the cell membrane, then it can cause the cells to even lyse, break apart. And as a result, we can lose biological function because these cells die. So we, at 37 degrees Celsius, have much more saturated fatty acids. The saturated fatty acids will have straight chains that allow more hydrophobic interactions between these molecules so as to maintain the integrity of the cell membrane. As a result, making sure our cells do not break at 37 degrees. So compared to plants, we have much more saturated fatty acids and they have a very important function. Imagine if you are a pure vegan, you don't consume animal meat that contain these kind of fat molecules that allows us to adapt at 37 degrees. So we eat a lot of polyunsaturated fatty acids. This also means our cells are very leaky and they frequently have holes which allows things to pass in and out, which is no good because we want this barrier so as to prevent the entry of undesirable substances. So this barrier is very important, right? So the idea here is if we are a vegan once again, we are consuming a lot of these unsaturated fatty acids. If you are eating meat tends to contain higher levels of saturated fatty acids, thereby giving us a more intact cell membrane. So because our source of fats come from the animals, right? So this is one of the additional reasons why we should not be 100% vegan.